Right, moving on to the quintet is Team Swanlite, captained by Desley Faithful. Please welcome Desley Faithful, Bruce Hudson, Dylan Carrera Miguel, Josh Standers, and Marcel Else. The team from the blue corner representing CMH Midrand, captained by Bad News Brandon Odia. Please welcome Team CMH Midrand, Brandon Odia, Byron Milford, Wayne Berriman, Alan Menahan, and Edson Mashavani. Ladies and gentlemen, the quintet. Okay.
Let's get the show on the road.
So for those of you at home wondering why, if there's so many people on the mat, this is the quintet. It's 5-on-5. We'll see who goes out first. Oh, interesting matchup.
Oh.
Josh Standers going out first for Team Swanlite Lighting Solutions up against Alan Menahan. These guys are evenly matched in terms of weight. I think they're pretty much the same.
They're pretty close.
90
They're
odd
pretty
kilos.
close.
A lot of pressure here. Late.
Josh
additions.
weighed in at just under 91 kilos, and Alan just under 91. There's a 100-gram difference between the two of them.
All right.
You'd imagine that just by appearance, Josh has definitely got the strength advantage. Yeah? I don't think Josh has missed a gym day ever.
No. Neither legs or upper body gym day.
Exactly.
Okay, six minutes to work here in the quintet.
Alan
so
is
it's got to be all action.
Alan is the higher rank belt here, but obviously when you get to Nogi, that doesn't have as much of a, doesn't hold as much weight. I think Josh also has more wrestling heavy style, whereas Alan's got more of a traditional Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu style.
Just worth noting, both of these guys were late entries in fight week, so no one was particularly getting ready for this. Oh, showing for the double leg for Josh Standers, who owns one of the only self-inflicted KOs with that double leg. But yeah, this is where Josh wants to be.
Good.
Yeah, this is where Josh wants to be, on top, heavy pressure. I've had the privilege of training many times with Josh Standers. This is a horrible place to be underneath. Heavy hips, strong crossface. That's his game all day.
Josh needs to look to cradle the hip rather. I mean, I don't think Alan's got a decent connection on on the neck there. But Josh obviously doesn't want Alan to regard.
To the back, Josh Standers.
He's got a single hook in. Now the thing he needs to watch here is because he only got one hook in, he shouldn't go to the seat belt. He should try and rather use a quarter Nelson. Otherwise, he runs the risk of getting shrugged off the back. It's quite interesting. Both these guys are debuting in the Submission Kings arena, but doesn't seem like the nerves are affecting either of them. I think the action's just been a little bit too fast for them to really even take in the moment.
Look, the nice thing with the quintet, you got 4 other guys in your corner edging you on. It's kind of like that team sport kind of vibe.
Yeah.
You know, you can just go and have fun. You know, the quintet is an enjoyable thing. We've just whoa, a little spit out there from Josh Standers. I don't know what that was.
No, he pulled the finger tape off his finger and then spat it out.
Fantastic.
Look, this is a strong start from Josh.
Yeah, really, and especially seeing as he was such a late entry here, he is game. Oh, lets him out. Accepting the top half there for Josh Standers.
Would a decent performance from either of these guys get them birth into a future card?
Look, we're obviously into the new year going to start looking at the light heavyweight divisions. So yeah, JP Kruger up there, Tion Gerber could come back if he starts to pick up a bit of size. So a lot of guys to consider. It's a division that's reasonably shallow. So yeah, definitely worth a wild card entry. Both of these guys have been around a long time. Is Josh working a rear naked choke with no hooks?
He is, with no hooks.
I like how Josh Standers has his Instagram handle on his pants. That's the first time I've seen that. Shout out to @Josh Standers on Instagram.
Josh needs to get both his hooks in and extend Alan out. Try and get him belly down. That did take a lot from Alan. I think he's actually bleeding from that.
Nice little...
across the
blood
nose.
there. Nice little Dagestani handcuff from Josh Standers. Ooh, bit of blood coming out of the... Is it the mouth or the nose?
I think it's the nose. I think the choke at one stage was going across the nose.
Yeah, you got to make that decision whether you're going to let that go or tap.
Yeah.
So yeah, Alan looking extremely uncomfortable under the physicality of Josh Standers. But I mean, Josh wants to get one ahead for his team here. He's had a lot of control.
Over the legs. That's a very
ugly,
dangerous movement to go through. Josh, you can imagine Josh got a serious squeeze there. I think the choke actually slipped up the face because Alan was trying to get the chin down. And I think that's where the injury happened.
And I think Josh has got the physical attributes here that you can kind of cause problems without hooks in, and you can really just get physical. Oh, and Alan slipped out here to a little back take. Can't keep it.
The thing for Alan now, right, is that because it's a team event, his main focus now is just to get to the end of the round.
Sure.
If he can get to the end of the round, then it doesn't matter what Josh did in the match, right, because they're both going to be eliminated.
Sure. So for those of you that don't know the rule set of the quintet, if neither man submits the other, they are both eliminated from the quintet and the next two competitors enter. If one of them gets a submission, they stay on the mat and the next guy will enter, and so it keeps going until we get to the last man. Interesting lineup here. I think if this is the order, we'll see Dylan Correa Miguel up next. I can't see the other side. Be interesting to see how they strategize for this one.
You'd imagine that the CMH Midrand group are going to probably send in bad news next. Sure. I can only imagine. It seems like they sent in like a medium-sized guy to start, and they'll probably alternate between the heavier and lighter guys going forward.
Josh working on a... All right, gives it up. Back to the back. He's got to find a way to get those hooks in there. I think Josh has had really good back positions, but just can't get the hooks in and find the control.
In Alan's profile, he said that he's got a nickname as Boring Owl.
Yeah, he says because it must be so exciting.
I think we see where that comes from. What would be unbelievable now is if Alan pulled something out of the bag now, because it's been one-way traffic for the entire round.
AKA Caramello with the flying triangle pass.
Josh still looks fresh, bro. Josh still looks fresh. 15 seconds. You got to believe that Josh won't be able to get the tap within a 10-second period. And you have to give credit to Alan. The job that he was sent in there to do, he's done.
And eliminated a big threat in Josh Standers. A great performance by Josh. I'm seriously impressed. On late notice, he said he hasn't been training much jiu-jitsu, so massive performance. Definitely left a physical impression on Alan there.
Jeez, like it.
Okay, and we're going to see next up. A little bit of blood poured out of the nose of Alan there. We're just going to get that cleaned up quickly and into the next matchup. It definitely does look like Dylan Correa Miguel is up next.
It'll be interesting to see how Dylan copes with the 2 rib injuries he's had over the past while. He's been very vocal about it. It's not a secret.
Especially if he sees a bigger guy standing up across from him.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see. So
Dylan
is anybody getting up for Team CMH Midrand? Keeping it a secret?
Playing their cards very close to their chest.
I'm going to say that's probably Brandon or Deer next up. I can see a gum guard in there, but keeping the cards hidden.
Dylan fought the last quintet with a very serious rib injury, and it was visible in the actual matches, especially the one against Jamie. So let's hope that that's healed up properly. Would hate that to play in.
Yeah, I think he's definitely hoping for a smaller guy. Oh, a little trickaroo here.
Oh,
Okay.
on both sides.
It's
from both sides.
It's in Mashavani versus Bruce Hudson from Cape Town. Bruce Hudson says he used to be vegan, but now takes cold showers, and that's the biohack.
Oh,
and
man.
The nickname is obviously short for Vegs. Vegs is short for vegan. I mean, watch out for the flying triangle here from Edson Mashavani. 60 kilos. Great addition for a quintet side, which gives you a lot of space to get some bigger guys. Oh, there we go. Straight into the jumping guard pull from Edson. The nickname Trapdoor Spider. Oh, what has happened here? Oh, he's on the flying guard pull has taken an injury to the lip, which is interesting.
If anything, Edson's pretty exciting to watch. You know.
Yeah.
He doesn't always get the finish, but there's a lot of action that happens in these matches. He's had a couple of matches with Guy Lazarus, which have been eventful.
Yeah, he likes to throw up triangles. He's obviously got the build for that, but we'll jump into a triangle, we'll jump into a guard pull, do a lot of like high acrobatic, high energy moves.
Edson's also got quite a deep MMA history. You know, he's a up and coming amateur MMA athlete with a record of 7-3.
Also competing in Muay Thai pretty soon, I think. He's got a Muay Thai fight coming up,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. So staying active, staying competitive, trying to make his mark. His jiu-jitsu is really come on. Sometimes with Edson, I'd like to see him like play a more calmer approach, you know.
Yeah.
Spends a lot of energy with these acrobatic kind of attempts. But yeah, that's his game, that's his style. It's exciting to watch.
I think once he grows into that style and develops a proper system around a lot of it, I think he's going to be a very exciting person to watch. He's still trying to learn like how to actually execute a lot of these things that he tries to pull off, you know?
Yeah, and interesting I think wouldn't Bruce Wayne at slightly heavier, you know, when you pull one of those kind of jumping guards on a guy who's going to be a little bit heavier than you, 18 kilos on you, you know, then you're on the bottom position and you've got to kind of deal with it.
Yeah. I mean, the reality is that he obviously fights guys more or less his size all the time, so his game has developed around that.
Yeah.
But you obviously have to change things up when you get into these type of environments. I wouldn't opt to be on the bottom with such a massive weight difference, you know. I mean, they were on the verge of potentially having a half round, you know. If the weight difference was more than 20 kgs, Edson could have opted for a half round, which plays into his favor if he wants to draw it out.
Two heavy weapons being saved at the back here for Team Swanlite in Desley Faithful and Dylan Carrera Miguel. Both guys with a bit of experience here on this mat. So interesting to see how that plays out. We could see young Byron Milford up pretty soon. I don't know who's coming out next. Everyone's keeping it a
decent
secret.
entry. If you can get that foot through.
And I mean, with one draw, one submission here changes the whole outlook of this quintet matchup. So, you know, you get
Bruce is looking very tired though.
Yeah, I think that late notice elevation kicking in a little bit there.
Jeez, like it. But you're right. I mean, they've left all their heavy hitters for last year on the left-hand side, Joe. You've got 2 purple belts and a brown belt left here, whereas CMH Midrand, primarily, barring Brandon Ordia, is primarily just blue belts left, you know. Problem with Edson going with these very flashy moves is he obviously opens himself up to being counter-attacked, right? You can see that Bruce is trying to enter onto the legs now. So I think he needs to kind of calm it down a little bit and maybe look just to push out to the draw, you know?
Edson holding up well physically. Oh, and onto that triangle attempt.
It's going to be difficult with that knee in the inside. Now he's entered onto the leg. Exactly what we were talking about a few minutes ago. If Bruce can keep that connection there with his right foot to the hip and get onto the leg, he's got a grip, but he doesn't have a hip connection. He needs to connect to the hip as well. without a hip connection, when they enter onto these leg locks, without a hip connection, as they start rotating the heel, the hip rotates with the heel, which obviously causes no sort of like tension on the knee.
This is something we spoke about in the recap of the last event. We saw a lot of guys getting on the entries, but perhaps the pressure of the competition preventing guys from getting the proper control before attempting the submissions.
No, definitely. I think what you see a lot in these competitions is guys, especially guys that are making like their debut or their second match here, is that they're not comfortable yet in the environment, so they start rushing everything.
Sure.
So one of the key things I like to tell my athletes is that just calm it down at the beginning. Get some reads, and then we can start picking up the pace at a later stage. You've got a lot of time. I mean, 6 minutes, 8 minutes. It's a decent period of time to get some work in.
1 minute left to go.
It's a leg lock shootout now.
Edson Mashavani holding up well.
Edson needs to clear that foot on the hip, otherwise he's going to get caught. Bruce needs to reconnect that left foot back to the hip.
Instructions from Captain Desley Faithful for Swanlite Lighting Solutions.
I think they want Bruce to transfer his left leg to the inside ashi position, which is basically taking the left leg and putting it in between the legs. He's going belly down. He needs hip connection though. That's his main problem. Yeah.
30 seconds. Edson staying nice and calm.
Oh, now the grip slipped.
Oh, could be looking at another draw here, which will make things mightily interesting going into the back end of this quintet.
Maybe a little leg lace there, but I don't think you got the right positioning. The leg is rotated.
5 seconds. Draw number 2.
Okay.
All right.
That's the reality of the type of format, right?
Let's see who they throw up next. It looks like
they're doing another fake, maybe.
Yeah, a little shimmy and shake here. Desley.
They're keeping everyone. I think it's Dylan. I don't think they.
No one knows. They're waiting to see.
Desley.
Both teams waiting to see. Okay, so this is an interesting matchup. Byron Lilford obviously making his debut here. I was super impressed by the show he put on. He was seconds away from booking his spot in the 8-man against Jason Durant at the previous event at Walter Sisulu. Desley Faithful, the captain of Team Swanlite, up against Byron Lilford from Vickers Swart. Interesting to see the Night King Desley Faithful pull guard. He likes that top half. He likes that body lock, elevating, showing to the leg.
Oh, he's trying to elevate Byron and then get in onto the leg. Go switch the legs into the inside ashi position and then start attacking the legs.
Desley Faithful lists Peyton Letcher and Luke Griffith as his jiu-jitsu role models. He said if BJJ had found him in his teenage years, he'd be living a different life. He loves recycling, staffy dogs, and beer.
Okay, that's quite a mix.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, that's two great people to have as role models, I mean, they've been barring the Penny Thomas era, they've been our most recent successes internationally,
That being said, I mean, Desley's obviously a team leader. He had Hemzo's. He's always putting himself out on the competition scene. Came down to Durban, again, made sure that we were aware of him. Obviously, wasn't happy with his performance here in the 8-man setup. Had a great show, but this is where Desley's comfortable. He likes this heavy pressure. This is what he's known for. Yeah. The horns of Desley when he puts that pressure on is something to behold.
Yeah.
But Byron, a physically very strong guy. He's only been training jiu-jitsu for a short time, just under 2 years now. But really taken to it. He's one of those guys you can see he's just come on and leaps and bounds straight off the bat for jiu-jitsu. He's really passionate about getting better at jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. Look, this is a difficult environment to test yourself in, and to go up against someone like Desley, who's a high-level brown belt, got a good leg lock game. I think if he can make a showing here, definitely stamp his name in the industry,
Sure.
Beautiful top rock entry onto the inside ashi position for Desley.
Byron Lilford says he's the secret third member of the Craig Jones, Gabby Garcia love triangle.
Desley doing a great job of controlling the far side leg. Yeah. A lot of guys miss this, right? They go straight for the inside leg and try and attack. Whereas to get the actual control position, you go to that far side leg, control that leg, and then you can start entering onto the actual leg that's being trapped by your legs.
Byron Lilford looking nice and calm here. I mean, if you're Byron, getting a draw and eliminating Desi Faithful, see that as a win?
That's a guaranteed a win. I mean, Daisley is definitely the star player on the Swanlite team, and I think if you can get an elimination there, that's as good as a draw.
Doing a good
That's
job of
a
clearing
draw
that
there.
line.
That's as good as a win.
Straight back to that head pressure for Night King, the captain, Desi Faithful of Swanlite Lighting Solutions. This is where you don't want to be.
No,
with
not at
Desi.
all. I think Daisley's alternating between obviously attacking the legs, and then I think he's trying to work to get to the back, hopefully get onto the neck there.
All right, less than 3 minutes to work here. Desi again going to start to feel the pressure of the clock. He feels like he should get a submission here. For Team CMH Midrand, if Byron Milford can hold up and get a draw here, he's done really, really well.
Desi with a strong crossface here. Oh, was that an Ezekiel choke?
Yeah. All right.
Beautiful.
That changes things. That's a submission, and Team Swanlite goes one up.
Okay, so momentum swings in Team Swanlite's favor.
And that's
I
all
think
it
we got-
takes.
I think we got Wayne Berryman
entering
next.
the fold here. Okay, so Desi will have 90 seconds to consult with his corner, catch his breath, and look to try and take this one home for his team. I mean, that puts him up here, another submission, and things get interesting. So TMH, CMH, Midrand have banked Brandon O'Dear.
As the anchor.
Yep, interesting play. You
I
still
think
got...
you're going to probably see Daisley come here and play the bottom game now and try and get it on the legs, you know. I think he exerts a lot of energy against Byron. And I think he needed to do that because Byron was quite a big guy physically, you know. I think with the weight difference now between Wayne and Daisley, I think he can afford to play that bottom game a little bit more without having any risk of having his guard pass and being crushed.
Let's check the replay here on the finish. Did he...
I'm not actually
I
sure
think
what happened
like
there.
a mounted smother there.
Yeah,
Just
it was
pressure.
a smother. It was a smother.
Yeah.
Chest smother.
Nice pyramid, chest smother. I think... I
Richie
saw-
Kwan would be proud of that. He's been trying to do that to Rourke for a week now.
Also, Chad Honeycomb's new favorite submission.
Oh yeah.
Horrible. Yeah, but
Okay, let's see what goes on
pyramids
here.
up.
Don't be surprised if there's a quick guard pull from Daisley.
Okay, let's return back to the action. We are ready to go. Desi Faithful versus Wayne Berryman. Advantage Team Swanlite. Oh, Wayne Berryman with a guard pull.
Wayne has competed at the Sub King tournaments a couple of times
Yeah.
now. Huh?
Yeah, look, he's a guy who hunts submissions. He's always going to guard on his shield, trying to make the most of the opportunities he gets. I definitely would invite Desi Faithful on top of me, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Avoid
Ooh,
that
Desi's
at
gonna get
all
the-
costs.
Daisley's going to go knee pressure, maybe go hip knee and then go tori under, nogi tori under, and try and pass to the side control. He could also drop back onto the leg. I think for Daisley, he needs to maybe just slow down the pace a little bit,
Sure.
take it at his pace. He's obviously exerted a lot of energy in the previous match. And then just wait for the opportunity to arise.
Ooh.
Ooh, there we go. Now he's entering onto the legs. What Daisley's done better than anyone so far is get the hip connection when trying to attack the legs.
And panic stations, if you're Team CMH Midrand right now,
Yeah.
another submission here really puts you in danger. Daisley Faithful leading the ascendancy with a captain's performance here. You've still got Dylan Carrera Miguel and Marcel Else in the bank. Brandon O'Dear, the captain of Team CMH Midrand, left. He said to me he's coming for submissions and he's coming to win. So he's going to have a hell of a task ahead of him.
He had a great performance at the Submission Kings at Walters Sulu Hall. Bad news has been Brandon O'Dear has been in the industry for a very long time, well over a decade. He recently got awarded his brown belt. So I think he's going to come in here and try and give a captain's performance as well. You know, I think he's going to try and lead from the back.
And what we're seeing here again is Desi Faithful setting up a similar kind of position that he just got. Oh, heavy crossface there.
Yeah.
Looking to set up that smother again.
He's going heavy crossface. I think he's going to try and get under the elbow.
Ooh.
But Wayne did a good job of getting the transfer and entering onto the escaping the actual mount position. As he drops back and he's got the hip connection, he just needs to close the circle now with the left knee. So we could possibly see a straight ankle lock here. Wayne's obviously booting his ankle so that he can't get the extension.
Wayne Behrman says he's very creative and technical, which comes in handy for his jiu-jitsu. He's going to need every bit of technical prowess to get through this one against the mighty Desley Faithful.
Oh, outside Ashi. This is a big problem now because he's got the straight ankle lock there. If you can get 2 feet on the hip and get the extension, there's going to be a bit of a problem here. He's going belly down, which is beautiful, but he needs a bit more pressure on the hip to get the extension, right?
Wayne Behrman doing a good job of staying calm here.
If you could X his feet, that would be great. He also needs to get long. He needs to get his lat onto the toes to try and get the foot to straighten out a little bit. Wayne's doing a very good job of booting his foot. Okay, he's transitioning now.
Great work there, gentlemen. Desley keeping it quite calm, collected, conserving energy really well. He's on the ascendancy here for his team. And I mean, the pressure's really on Wayne Behrman now to try and make something happen. Yep. Try to pull off a bit of a Hail Mary for his team.
No, definitely. I think from Wayne's side, even if he can just draw this, push this out to a draw and eliminate Desley, because Desley's got the potential to run through this whole team at this stage. Problem is Wayne keeps playing into Desley's game of going onto the legs.
Still to come, ladies and gentlemen, the super fight main event between DeMarc Penner and Dejan Tim, as well as the final of the winner-takes-all middleweight 8-man competition, as Wayne Behrman finds himself in control for probably the first time in this matchup.
Yeah, exactly that. The momentum has definitely shifted over into Wayne's favor now. I think Desley's really feeling the last 10 minutes of grappling action that he's had.
One thing we notice about Desley in the 8-man setup is that his style is very energy heavy. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of pressure. It's very isometric. And it does have an effect on him in later rounds, you know? So interesting to note.
It's very effective, obviously, in one-off matches. I think you're going to have a very hard time if you're having a super fight against Desley and it's a 10-minute match. You know, I think he's going to push the pace and be quite physical with you for the entire 10 minutes. But obviously, like when we have these multiple matches in the evening, it obviously weighs very heavy on him.
50 seconds just about left to go here. A draw would be considered a win for Wayne Behrman as he tries to survive another onslaught. Oh, and the tap.
Beautiful, Desley. Beautiful, Desley.
Which leaves Captain...
Was that another smother?
I think so. Hopefully we'll get to see a replay shortly. Another 90 seconds for Desley Faithful to catch his breath, talk to his team. Okay,
let's see.
Let's take a look at, again, heavy crossface, tapping from pressure.
Almost like a Von Flue choke, right?
They call him the Night King for a reason. That shoulder pressure is unbelievable.
It was a Von Flue choke, just not the more conventional. You know, normally when you get to that side control position, they're holding onto like almost what looks like a guillotine, and then the shoulder pressure gets the Von Flue choke, right?
So
but
two top pressure heavy submissions for the Night King Desley Faithful.
Yeah.
It all falls on to bad news, Brandon Odia.
The most dangerous man in Primrose.
Yeah, it's a tough task ahead here. You've got Desley Faithful, Dylan Carrera Miguel, and Marcel else to get through in order to get a win for your team. No pressure, bad news.
That would definitely be a captain's innings, eh?
In the immediate threat, obviously you've got reasonably tired Desley Faithful. You've got a bit of size advantage on him, so let's take it one fight at a time. You've got to deal with Desley first.
Bad news weighed in at 107 kilograms.
This was an interesting point. Luckily, we saved him with some lighter guys. He did promise that he would be 99 kilos on fight day, but plans changed.
There's a 31 kilogram weight difference between the two of them. Both these guys are brown belts. Both have been training for well over a decade.
I will state my claim as having a gold medal win over Brandon O'Dear.
Oh, straight on the single leg X. He's trying to get a quick ankle lock finish there. Desi doing very well to fish the foot inside. Bad news is obviously missing the hip connection once again.
Brandon O'Dear, long-time jiu-jitsu opponent of mine. I still hold the gold medal over him. I'll keep it safe until the end of time. He'll never get his rematch.
Shame. Brandon O'Dear is such a massive jiu-jitsu fan. He got sent to the most remote part of Africa, South Africa, and where there was no jiu-jitsu, and he managed to get a couple of boxes together, tape them together, and put together 4 guys to roll in this like middle of nowhere town. And
somewhere like Sunderland or something like that.
Somewhere crazy.
Absolutely in the middle of nowhere for work. Yeah, credit to him.
And he did that for like 2 years, eh?
A massive custodian of the sport, Brandon O'Dear.
He was still one of those original street tough Rodney King days jiu-jitsu practitioners. You know?
And interesting here, Desi Faithful getting a bit of a taste of his own medicine, top pressure, shoulder pressure. I think people might be happy to see it.
Yeah. If Desley, I mean, all Desley needs to do is just survive, right?
Sure.
And then that's the win. But Brandon's going to give everything for the next 4.5 minutes to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen Desi's tide. You've really got to put the pace on him. I mean, obviously he's going with the pressure, which is fine, but like make Desi work, you know. Desi's just got to stay safe. And just over 4 minutes to go now. All eyes on Captain Bad News Brandon O'Dear. As you said earlier, the baddest man in Primrose. Good head pressure here from Brandon.
For Brandon, I think the main thing they needs to focus on is not to rush into the positions. A lot of these guys get caught into rushing the position, losing a position, and then they spend the next minute trying to get the position back. Whereas if they just take their time and get to the back, you know, systematically work towards the back, then they'll give themselves more time to work from the back. That's not an easy leg curl, let me tell you that much.
Good top positioning here from Brandon O'Dear with just over 3 minutes to go.
Yeah.
He's really got to start to make things happen if he wants to get his team back into this matchup. Nice and safe for Desley.
It'll be interesting to see if Desley can get a transfer of his weight and enter onto the single leg X. But obviously, we're talking about 31 kilograms. It's not going to be that easy just to transfer weight.
Little leg drag there. Oh, good elevation from Desley. All 31 kilos extra.
You see now, Desley could enter on the single leg X there. I think he's just buying his time though. I think with 3 minutes to go, he doesn't really want to do much.
I'd like to see him just go for it.
That would be great, eh?
But also, I'd like to see Brandon O'Dear just turn it up now, start forcing a scramble, make him tired. I mean, Desi's obviously been through a lot here, so...
Desi's certainly been MVP, and the only person that could take it away from him is potentially Brandon if he can do a run now on the remaining guys.
Yeah. See,
not a lot of time to work. I mean, 2 minutes 20, and you don't have a significant position. It's very difficult to force something to happen. Oh, backstep. He could enter onto the back leg.
definitely starting to see a bit of a pickup in the pace now.
Yeah.
I think Brandon O'Dear starting to feel that pressure of the clock. He's got to get it done for his team.
But once again, it's key to pick up the pace but not panic.
Yeah.
You still systematically need to pressure forward. Desi's just doing a really good job of guard retention and just neutralizing all these attacks.
Again, this is what we see a lot in this format, is guys dominating a position, but you've got to figure out a way to turn that dominant position into success. You've got to find a submission, you've got to find a pass. You see a lot of guys getting stuck in like these crazy dominant positions, but don't have much else to offer. Yeah. You know, in a sub-only setting, if you're in the bottom and you're fine, you're safe, you don't really have to panic, you know. It's up to the guy in control to really, really turn it on, you know.
Do you think that we're going to see a heavyweight 8-man at any stage?
I really do hope so. It is obviously, as these things go, we have changes, so you've got to have many on standby. We do have plans for October to try and get a light heavyweight or heavyweight title. 1 minute left to work here. But yeah, heavyweight, we want to get through all the divisions, have champions in every division, and then start to find contenders. We are also in talks of bringing back the team quintet. A lot of plans for the future. I'd love to see Pesper come back and defend that quintet title. It would be interesting to see. I think we'd get a buy-in from Team Henzo Gracie now, so a lot of options.
I think the jiu-jitsu landscape's changed significantly since the last team quintet, so it'd be very interesting to see the new teams competing, and the established teams obviously. I mean, bring back Pesver, Quan Vessels, Henzo Gracie, and then obviously you either have Crionch or Eastram BJJ.
Right, and this looks like it's heading for a victory for Team Swanlite. Led by the captain's inning of Desdi Faithful. Too little too late
a little Ezekiel choke at the end there.
Right.
Too little too late though. Amazing performance there from Desdi Faithful. Really put in a strong performance. Well done. Well done, Team Swanlite. Marcel Els and Dylan Carrera-Miguel didn't even get a run. Now we're getting ready for the handover of the trophy. They'll join Alistair Bishop on stage to receive the Submission Kings trophy.
A massive captain's innings from Desdi Faithful. Congratulations, Team Swanlite. Please come up onto the stage. Desdi Faithful, Marcel Els, Joshua Standers, Dylan Carrera-Miguel, and Bruce Hudson.